Okay, give me 1 second here. I don't know why this is not working the way that it was supposed to. Oh, yay! Okay, Cindy sees me. Okay. I just sent that link in the email and also in the other little chat window that somehow opened. I don't know why my camera told me that it just was not going to work on the other link, which worked yesterday. And I tested and even had somebody else test. But you guys know how it goes with me and technology. So yay, people can hear and see me. Here we go. Okay. So for those of you who have not been on technology with me before, welcome. Literally tested this 7 ways to Sunday, and for whatever reason on that other page, I could see all of you, but my camera was reporting that it was not showing me. So here we go. We troubleshooted, and here we are. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so excited that you are all joining me in this sunrise challenge. And for the first morning, I wanted to, first of all, just say congratulations, you made it. I know that getting up early can be a big deal for a lot of us, especially if we have sleep problems. And I also wanted to assure you that it gets better, it gets easier. I have a friend who called it switching to the day shift. And it's true, your body will absolutely adjust and it will start to produce more melatonin and it will know when to release that melatonin. So your sleep will actually get better as you do this, which is the good news. I was a chronic insomniac. I mean, since childhood. And since starting this practice, about really consistently about a year and a half ago, like being deeply consistent with it, my sleep has improved so much. I still have bouts where I struggle, but I would say I used to struggle 70% of the time, and I now struggle maybe 30% of the time. So marked difference. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everybody has figured out how to get over here. This is, we have somebody from Toronto. We have people from all over. We have some people in California. I know there will be people watching this tomorrow, which is awesome because they're just in a different time zone. So I am going to guide you all through a little meditation this morning. And of course, just there will always have to be a little tech challenge. I learned that the kids call people who have tech issues a lot sliders, and it has to do with your energy messing with technology. And I 1,000% believe that. Anybody who's been on classes with me will relate that. I promise it's not because I'm unprepared, guys. Like, technology and my energy do not get along. So All right. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why the sunrise. Um, so first and foremost, my story with this, I was guided to start sitting in the sunrise for the first time about 15 or 16 years ago. And at the time, I was studying with a yogi of the Ananda lineage. And it started coming through in meditations that my body would wake me up at 3:30 in the morning, and I would just feel like, oh, you need to go out in the sunrise. And at the time I didn't know anything about it. Couldn't have told you why. I shared this with the yogi that I was studying with, and he told me that from basically like 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. is considered a sacred time. And then watching the sunrise is very healing for your body. At the time, I was struggling with a pretty intense autoimmune disease. And I also my eyesight was depreciating really, really quickly. As you see, I still wear glasses. However, I used to be a negative 5.75 on the scale that they measure with, which is pretty extreme. Like I was like legally blind. I had to wear like extreme corrective lenses, and I'm now down to a negative 2.75. So now, again, that I didn't have a consistent practice from that long ago. My consistent practice has only been a little under 2 years. So in a little under 2 years, I've managed to heal my eyes by markers that are considered insane in medical science. Like I had to switch optometrists 3 times because my optometrist like refused to believe or like work with me in understanding that my eyes were getting better, because I was having to go in every like 3 to 4 months to get an exam to get new contacts or a new prescription because my eyes were healing so quickly. So if any of you have bad eyes, we're going to talk about how sunrise gazing can help with that. Then what started the really truly like commitment to this? Well, actually, when was COVID? Oh yeah, actually, you guys, COVID was in 20. So actually, I've been doing this for 3 years, because what started my consistency with this practice was COVID. Right before COVID hit, I started getting downloads from my committee of guides, which is really just my higher self in a scattered quantum form, because that's the story that my brain likes. That's a story for another time. But I started getting downloads about a vitamin protocol, which was really interesting because it was very highly specific. And then I started getting that I needed to be walking in the sunlight every morning. And this was non-negotiable to my guides. They were like, you have to do this. So I started doing it. And then afterwards, because I was like, what's it going to hurt? None of this is going to hurt me to try it, right? So afterwards, started doing research. And this is when my journey really began, because I started to find that there was crazy amounts of research about what being in the sunrise does for your health. I was shocked. This is, to me, I consider this maybe one of the largest sins of our modern world, that we have been conditioned to have this fear around the sun, and don't want to get sunburned, and everybody wears sunblock, and none of us know that sitting outside in the sunlight is so powerful. So I'm not going to talk this entire time. We're going to do a guided meditation, but I do want to set this up for you who are joining this, why this is so important, why I'm so passionate about it, and what you can get from this, right? So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about the benefits of sunrise itself, because the sun throughout the entire day, from sunrise to sunset, there are different UV spectrums, UVA, UVB, and UVR, that are coming through our atmosphere from the sun. Every single one of those plays a role in something that your body does. Sunlight is responsible for over 1,000 different processes in your body. And the sunlight at different times does different things. So as we go on through this, that's where I'm going to really tell you to start using your DMinder app that I had you download. I'll talk to you about that, how we use it. We don't want to use it right away, especially if you don't have a sunrise practice, because your body's not ready for it. So early morning sunrise, a few things that it's going to do for you. First and foremost, if you get direct, and you guys know I'm wearing my glasses right now, but that's because I'm troubleshooting technology. So I'm trying to um, make sure that I am not missing anyone who's trying to get in or sending a message. But as we go on and we get comfortable with this technology, I will take my glasses off. Um, so I can get the direct sunlight in my eyes as well, because we don't want to block any of those UVA or UVB rays, especially when the sun is below 30 degrees on the horizon. And your D-Minder app will show you when it hits 30 degrees, because that's when your body can start making vitamin D. So before that, what's happening in our body is it's signaling in our brain. Largely the biggest thing that it's signaling is production of serotonin. So these early morning UVA, UVBs, it's telling our brain to start making serotonin. Now, that is important, not just because serotonin makes us feel good, which it does, but because the timing of the release of serotonin is also going to control the timing of the release of melatonin. Melatonin is what helps you sleep. It is also the precursor to DMT production in your pineal gland. So for those of you who have meditation practices, which I think is most of you on this call, and you're like, oh, I love these meditation practices where I really am able to become the observer, or I have sort of that psychedelic disassociation effect. A lot of that is going to be triggered by DMT and melatonin. We also know that people who have a consistent production of serotonin and melatonin produce more human growth hormone during the first cycle of sleep after they fall asleep. So you can see that this, even if we just look at this one function of serotonin being triggered to be released in our body, that's going to control this entire cycle that has all of these benefits for you. And for those of you who don't know, human growth hormone production happens at about the 60 to 90 minute mark after we fall asleep for our first sleep cycle. And you have to get consistent with this. If you're falling asleep at different times, you're not getting that human growth. And it only happens that once. That's it. And then from then on, the rest of your sleep, you don't get to recapture that. So if you don't get that consistent cycle going, that circadian rhythm, then you're missing that. And that human growth hormone is where a lot of repair happens in our body. It's actually responsible for healing a lot of the things that many of us suffer with, including too much cortisol, too much adrenaline, norepinephrine. So we really want to get on a consistent sleep cycle, and the sunrise is the best way to do that. Second thing, we are going to be talking about incorporating actual sunlight throughout the day. How do we do that safely? Because you can get sunburned. Skin cancer is a real thing. And if you're a very pale, a Fitzpatrick 1 or 2 like myself, then you do have to pay attention. We can't just be blasé about how long we're in the sun with no preparation. So that's another key component of this. If you are someone who is suffering from adrenal fatigue, if you are someone who is suffering from any autoimmune condition, if you're someone who struggles with hormone balance or imbalance, sunlight is the best way to fix that. And in order to safely get sun throughout the day, we need to have early morning sunlight, because the other thing that this does is it triggers the production of melanocytes in your skin, which allows you to develop melanin. Melanin prevents you from being burned, and it helps your body be able to use the vitamin D that is produced from midday sun. So hopefully we are all seeing that this sunrise, even just with this, and guys, I can keep going. There'll be content coming at you left and right, but even just these few little things are so important that happen in the sunrise light. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat here. I didn't realize this chat function was going to work the way it did, so that's really rad. And I'm always happy to kind of try to hit a couple of those. Also, please email them to me and I will address them. I'm also going to do some live Q&As scattered throughout this month on Zoom, just so that we can have a chance to dialogue and make sure everybody's doing good and share information or knowledge. So for right now, I'm going to teach you all the practice that I have been doing to heal my eyes. I have a very specific practice that I do for this. Um, so I'm going to take my glasses off for this just so that you can maybe have a better chance of seeing my eyes. But essentially all I'm doing, and those of you, again, if some of you have been into my classes, you'll recognize this meditation with your eyes closed, because I do this with my eyes closed for a very different process. But it turns out it's really great for healing and strengthening your eyes. And I feel like it's a really great way to welcome the sun. So I'm going to guide you through this meditation, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my eyes first. And what I'm doing is I'm literally just going to imagine that I'm tracing an infinity sign with my eyes. You want to leave your eyes open because, again, we want that early morning light coming directly into our eyes. So I'll start in the center here, and then I will just trace up and around really slowly, coming back down around. Come back up and over like this, and then back up through the center. So let's all just try that for a minute. You're just going to trace an infinity sign with your eyes. Even if you have perfect eyes, this is not a bad thing to do because macular degeneration happens with age. And so this can help prevent you from ever needing to use readers. It's just a great way to keep your eyes really strong. So let's all just take a second to practice that, and then I'll show you the second bit of the practice that I start every morning with, which I love. And you really want to go slow. You want to find the sticky points, find the points where it's hard for you to control your eyes. So I have 2 weak points in my eyes. I always have the same ones. So I'll even slow down as I get up to those points. I slow down because mine are at the top corners. That's where my eyes get weak. Awesome. So you can continue on with that if you want. Otherwise, I'm going to guide you through the second part of what I do. So the second part of what I do is I like to, every single morning, I'm sitting on the ground. You guys don't have to sit on the ground. You can do whatever makes you happy. But I love to sit on the ground in the morning because I like to get those negative ion charges through the earth. Sorry about hitting that. And we are going to do, this is actually rooted in deep yogic practices, but I actually do a different version of it. So what you're going to do is, however you're sitting, if you're sitting on a chair, if you're sitting on the ground, if you're standing, you can still do this. Whatever the lowest part of you is, you're going to connect to that lowest part of you. You are going to find the piece of you that is closest to the earth. And you're going to keep your eyes open during this. Again, we are really trying to maximize the amount of time that we are getting this early morning sunlight. So you're going to keep your eyes open, which is very different than most meditations. And as you're just watching the sky, allowing the light to come in, I want you to just visualize that that light is coming in through your eyes. Really feel it. Become aware of the quality of light. Become hyper aware of the quality of light. And feel it coming into your eyes, right? And you can blink if you need to, but just starting to feel that. And then I want you to imagine that as it comes into your eyes, it collects behind your eyes, at a point behind your eyes. For those of you who have this in your practice, you can even imagine it going and collecting at the pineal gland in the center of your brain. And I want you to imagine that this beautiful pale sunlight that is just starting to rise for the day is going to start to drip down from the center of your brain, down the back of your throat. It's going to travel all the way down your spine, all the way down. You feel it flowing through your stomach, through the sex organs, all the way down. If you're sitting on the ground, you can go straight out through your root into Mother Earth. If you're standing, imagine it traveling down your legs and going out through your feet. There's benefits to both. And we're just going to hold that visualization of this light coming in to our eyes, meeting in the center of our brain, turning into this liquid golden honey, this ambrosia that then drips down the central spinal column, all the way down through every chakra point. Or if you don't use chakras, that's okay. Just imagine it dripping, following the cerebral spinal fluid down, and then it's going to flow out into the earth. And this is your connection to the earth. You're connecting, you are the conduit from the sun to the earth, right? You are the divine neutrality. You are the mono, what do they say in human design? The monopole. You are the monopole. So just working on this process, even of meditating with your eyes open, welcoming the sunlight in with your eyes and feeling it travel down your body. Good. And for those of you who have this in your practice, I will sometimes also try to reverse that. I'll imagine a ball of molten energy, lava from the core of Mother Earth. And I will pull that energy. I'll feel that fire energy traveling either up my feet or up my core, up my root, following that central spinal column again, all the way up. And I will try to bring it up into my head. So again, we just want to be that conduit between the earth and the sun, okay? So I know we're at about 20 minutes right now. I think that's a good place to start. You guys made it. I'm so proud of you. Every day we'll learn a little bit more. We'll do some meditation practices. And I'm so honored that everybody is choosing to show up for this. And I'm so excited for the journey that you're about to go on, because this is single-handedly the thing that has changed my life. I also believe that it kept me from getting COVID. I still, to this day, I have actually only been sick once in the past 3 years, and I tested 7 ways from Sunday, and it wasn't COVID. I actually think it was a flu. So this is also the time where I get a ton of downloads. So I'm going to let everybody have a minute now to just sit in your sunrise practice on your own. I'm going to end the live. I invite you to just, even if it's just 1 more minute, to stay here and stay centered in your sunrise practice. And just allow yourself to feel and to be out here. And I will see all of you beautiful, beautiful beings tomorrow. All right. Hara Mariese, stay in happiness.